I'd like you to, can you tell everyone how you got into doing Reiki? I know you had told me, but I think it's wonderful, a wonderful story. And
Sure. So I'm going to give you the slightly longer version, but I don't
that's
remember if
fine.
we talked about it. So I started with yoga and did yoga teacher training, which was kind of an epiphany thing of my yoga teacher. Just we're having a conversation. She just turned to me, and it was a group, and she turned to me and said, "You should do teacher training." And me not believing in myself, I can't be a yoga teacher. And she's like, "Yes, you can." Did yoga teacher training with my husband, started teaching right away. I was pregnant while we did teacher training.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
and then it
Wow.
was like, he wanted to hire me for prenatal yoga. And it was like, oh, okay. So this is an interesting calling. And then, so that was pregnant with our first. The day I found out I was pregnant with our second, my husband found out he had Hodgkin's lymphoma. And our yoga teacher said, I have a Reiki healer. You need to go see her right away. So he did. He did not want to do chemo. He wanted to try and do natural. He saw the Reiki practitioner, went to Sloan Kettering, got all his scans before that. And they were like, you got to start in 2 weeks after this test because we're doing a study group. And then he went to have a Reiki session or two. I can't remember. I think it was two. And then she said, you have to do the treatment. You have to do the treatment. And he said, okay. And he called them back up. And they said, well, now it's 3 weeks later, so you need to do a new PET scan. Did the new PET scan. And they said, oh, we must have made a mistake with measurements. It's smaller. The tumor's smaller. So you can go into a different study group with less toxic, and you don't need to do radiation. Less toxic chemo, and you don't need to do radiation, which he was going to have to do the whole thing. And it was pretty scary.
Wow.
Because one group was over 10 centimeters. So think about a woman, giving birth in the womb.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, it was like 9.8. So it was just under. I think it was like 10.1 or something like that. I can't remember,
Wow.
10.2. So it had gotten, noticeably smaller, and Sloan Kettering doesn't make mistakes.
No.
So clearly the Reiki was helping him, and he was able to continue to work some. He was not having a lot of side effects a lot of people have. And so I told his Reiki practitioner, she was a master. And I said, I need you to be my teacher. I need to learn this. And she wasn't teaching right away. And I kept just checking in with her. I was being a nag, and I was like, how about now? Are you doing a class yet? Are you planning a class yet? And finally she was like, okay, Michelle, I'm doing a class. And that first class was just opened so many doors.